I've heard from a lot of our players. I mean, it's actually been less than a week. They're going stir crazy. They want to play. They want to compete.
We're back with another episode of the Clipboard. I'm one of your hosts, Coach Chuck.
It's your boy, Coach Rel, a.k.a. T-Rob, and we're back.
It's been a long time, about a month. Let's just talk about why we had the little gap. Obviously, everybody know what's going on, coronavirus, COVID. So, everything stopped. It shut down everything. We didn't really know how we was going to format it as regards to the leagues. But, people need us. The city needs us. The country needs us. They need the clipboard.
Yeah,
get a little bit of basketball fix.
Yeah.
So, we back. We got some good topics today. Should have a guest coming through. Well, calling in. So, it'll be a good episode. But how you been doing during the virus?
I've been doing good. Maintaining. I had a little scare when it first started, financial situations, but I got all that worked out, so I'm good. Got food in the crib, so I'm good.
Yeah, just thankful to have a job and working. I mean, it's a little nuts out there, but everybody stay safe. Everybody that's watching, stay safe. Anybody going through it, if you got it, quarantine, get better. People really dying, so take care of yourselves out there.
Definitely.
But
wash your hands. Wear gloves.
Yeah, might see my hands is ashy. You feel me? I was washing them things. You feel me? But let's get right to it. Coronavirus shut down the NBA, shut down NCAA, shut down high school basketball. So, when you think NBA gonna start back, if it's gonna start back?
As of right now, I don't think the NBA is going to start back. I think the world in general is going to be shut down for a while now. They keep giving us these 30-day updates, 30 more days. That's going to last for a while. That's going to happen at least 3 more times. So we're looking at June. June. So the NBA starting that far away from the last stoppage is like, I don't know. I don't see it happening. And then what scares me about that is like, then what happens with this season? Do they just consider it a wash? Do they give out any awards? I don't know.
Yeah, and NCAA stopped theirs. Honestly, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people think that's the best tournament, March Madness.
Oh, my God.
There's no March Madness. NBA was thinking about starting back up and finishing their season, but like you said, I don't really think it's going to happen. Spencer Dinwiddie actually had an idea of doing an NCAA tournament for the NBA. So it'll alleviate the time frame, and I think that might be a good idea. But June, if they could do it in June and finish that by July, that'll be the only way I think it'll happen. But I just feel bad for let's go back to college. I feel bad for them because them seniors ain't getting they senior year back. NCAA came out and said spring activities, I guess like baseball, softball, they'll let the seniors replay their senior year because they didn't get to start. But
that makes sense.
Basketball is considered a winter sport, so I'm gonna see Hall of Fame Miles Powell. He done. They was about to get a 3 seed, so you feel bad for kids that go to San Diego State, who was like top 5 in the country for the first time ever.
Word, that's crazy.
And they had a legit chance to get a number 1 seed, number 2 seed, and they don't even get to play in the tournament. Who knows what happened next year? They might not be top 25. So
yeah, I wanted to see what the kid Tobin did in the tournament too. He's been having a stellar season.
Yeah, we gonna get to Obi and all tournament teams and who we think should win and this, that, and the third. But NBA, I don't think it's coming back. What do you think? Let's get to NCAA.
Yes.
Right? Because there's a lot of stuff been going on. NBA's been kind of dormant. Only thing, good news we could say is all the players that have been tested positive have come back and they're good now. Kevin Durant.
Yep.
What's old boy name? Christian Wood.
Gobert.
Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell. Marcus Smart. They've all come back, and it was other players on the Nets. There's other players that didn't want to be named, but they've came back and said they're good. So that's a good thing. But let's move to NCAA because there's other things going on. There's no basketball being played, but there's basketball moves being made. The transfer portal. What do you think about that? There's a lot of people transferring right now.
I mean, there's a lot of people every year. I think people, at least people that we know, are overreacting because it's a lot of kids that we know that are in the transfer portal right now, moving around to different schools. But, it's a little more close to home for us. Every year, the transfer portal is crazy and ridiculous. Like, every year. I see it all the time. I hear coaches talking about it on social media. This year, it's just a little closer to home. So now people that we know are starting to get more involved in the conversation, starting to overreact a little bit. But this is just the norm of the NCAA. This is what happens.
Well, I think that the number of transfers have grown from, let's say, when we were in high school and college to now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, they look at it as a bad thing. I don't really think it's a bad thing. It's a case-by-case scenario.
Yes.
But because so many people are transferring, they all get grouped into one. And, some people are transferring, but, like, they don't have to come out and say what reason they're transferring. But, sometimes some kids are in real good situations, and they're transferring. And it's like, why are you transferring?
Yeah, certain things don't make sense, and then some things do make sense. So, it like you said, it's a case-by-case situation. Everyone has their own reasons, their personal reasons why they're transferring. So it's hard to say what's a good transfer, what's a bad transfer until you see it play out. So to say, oh, this kid transferring, that's a bad idea, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. But we don't know until we see what they do at that new location, at that new school.
So we have, like you said, it's hitting close to home. There's a lot of people from New Jersey transferring right now. We got a list of 6 D1 players, mid to high major D1 players that are transferring. So what we're going to do, name them, name the school they went to, name the school they're transferring to, and you give your idea if it's a good transfer or a bad transfer, and I'll give mine too. Okay? Let's start top of the list. Bryce Aiken.
My guy.
Transferring from Harvard to Seton Hall University. Go ahead. What you think?
I think it's a really, really good idea for him to transfer there. Miles Powell was leaving. They have no real standout guard that they're going to have there. It's an opportunity for him to play on the biggest stage. Coming out of high school, he had all the big offers, but he decided to go to Harvard. I mean, you can't knock a kid for getting a Harvard degree, but now he's able to put his talent on that really, really big stage to give him an opportunity to live out his dream of making the NBA. I think it's a great opportunity for him, and I'm okay with that.
This is a great move for him. I'm a Seton Hall fan, so, pirate up.
Bias.
But no, it's a great move. It's more than basketball. Kyrie Irving's in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. He's Kyrie's Irving little man, Patrick School connection.
Little bro, yeah.
So when he put the transfer that he was going to Seton Hall, Kyrie Irving reposted it. So now he'll be home closer to Kyrie. Mm-hmm. So, and he's not transferring strictly for basketball reasons. If the Ivy League doesn't allow medical redshirt, so he was a senior, he hurt his foot, and basically they're saying your senior year is over. It's over. Mm-hmm. Well, now he can medical redshirt, or not medical redshirt, he can transfer as a grad student, and he'll be at Seton Hall. He'll be able to play. He'll be closer to Kyrie, be up under that loan. So, and like you said, Miles Powell graduated. Quincy McKnight graduated. Yeah. They lost their starting backcourt.
Even though you didn't like Quincy, but
I didn't say not that I didn't like him. He
was always on him, bro.
Because he come in big moments. He made a lot of mistakes, but he was our best defender.
Yeah, that's why I like him.
But back to Bryce. Bryce is in a great situation. He's averaging like 19 or something like that. I think he's a 17-point per game scorer at Harvard. He come to Seton Hall. They need scoring, especially from the guard position. Definitely. So he's good there. He has a Harvard degree, so he's great there. He'll be under Kyrie Irving, one of the biggest superstars in the NBA, being close to him. Kyrie might give him a job. Sure. So, I think that was probably the best transfer move for him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Next, E.J. Anisaki went from Sacred Heart to Tennessee. What do you feel about that?
Is this a grad transfer or just a senior year?
Yeah, no, he's actually a grad transfer. Okay. He's very smart kid, graduated in 3 years, has 1 year left. He's able to transfer somewhere else and play his senior year.
So with EJ, I knew EJ since he was a young kid, coming to my uncle's camps when I was working at, and just watching him develop throughout the years. Always thought that he had some big game talent. So to go to Tennessee, I think it's a great look. And then I believe his sister played there as well.
Correct.
So with some family ties there, I think, you don't get to really live out a situation like that too often where both you and your sister go to the same school. It's kind of like a legacy type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the move for him. He did really, really well at Sacred Heart, especially this last year. This is an opportunity for him to see if he's going to have that opportunity to be a professional basketball player or if he's just going to live out his college dream and then go into the work field. I think this is the test for him to see what the next move is for him.
Think it's a good move. I want him to come to Seton Hall, but
I want everybody to go to Seton Hall.
That's a fact.
You should go to Rutgers.
But no, I think it's a real good move for him. If you look at the history of Tennessee, let's just go back to last year. Grant Williams averaged about 14 points, 8 rebounds. Mm-hmm. They're the same type build, both about 6'6", stocky players. Can take it out. See, Grant shoots a little bit better than EJ from the 3, but EJ's coming from a school where he averaged a double-double.
Yep.
He get to go to Tennessee. I don't think they have any forwards at that spot, so he should be able to play right away. And, it'll be a big jump in competition.
Definitely should play right away.
But I look at it was a tweet from when EJ was in high school, and I want to say it was Hoop Group. And it said a bunch of D3 coaches should be here looking at EJ. If they're not here, they're missing out. And that was his senior year. So this is a way to show that all scouts, all coaches don't make the right decision. Because this kid was saying he should go D3. He went prep. He went D1. Now he's playing in the SEC.
Yep.
So just because one person say, I don't think you're a Division I player, sometimes you got to trust yourself. Trust the process.
Definitely.
You got to take the right advice. Just don't listen to your homeboys. Nah, you this. Take the right advice. And this is a situation where this kid took the right advice. He grinded, transformed his body, and he produced. So I like the move for EJ.
Yeah, no, definitely got to take the right advice. But not only that, you got to put the work in.
Definitely.
A lot of kids they live off their talent, but he also put the work in the gym, in the weight room. So he put the work in to develop himself into a Division I player, and now you see he's getting the fruits of his labor.
Mm-hmm. Next one, graduated from our high school, Aaron Estrada.
SVP.
Went to St. Peter's Prep, won Rookie of the Year in the MAC. Man, was it MAC? Let me see. I said St. Peter's Prep. St. Peter's.
Right?
Yeah, but listen, man, they both in
Corona.
Jersey. So, one Rookie of the Year, averaged about 9 to 10 points per game, won the Rookie of the Year, and he's transferring to Oregon. I think this is the biggest jump in competition. He'll be playing in the Pac-12 now. But, in fact, you go. You've been starting, so I'll go second.
Yeah, when I first heard the news, I was indifferent about it. I wasn't sure. I had to go back and do a little bit more research. I remember he was a big name coming out of high school. And so, just to go back, look at some of the offers. So he did have some big name offers, something along the lines of the level that he's going to. I don't know if it was as big as Oregon, but this is not far-fetched for him, even though he went to St. Peter's, and St. Peter's and Oregon is 2 different levels. As far as the individual player and the talent that he is, I don't think it's a huge jump for him. He got a taste of what the college scene is like, and now he wants to challenge himself more, so I wish the kid the best of luck. I'm not sure if it's going to be a good or bad move. I'm going to wait and see on that one.
I'll say it's a decent move. I'm kind of undecided on it. I mean, he did win Rookie of the Year, so bravo to him.
Yeah.
But when I looked at the stats, he averaged about 10, then it was 9 and some change, maybe like 3 assists, something like that. And I'm looking at him, and I said, well, if you won Rookie of the Year and you had success there, why not stay? But it must have been something going on. He must think he's better than whatever. He might feel as though he need the ball in his hands more. I don't know what the situation is, but me seeing him play at St. Benedict's, and actually the year when at Bloomfield Tech when we went to Group 1, if we'd have won that the North Jersey Championship we lost in, we would have played his team.
Okay.
So he went to Woodbury High before he went to Benedict's. Kid offensively, in my eyes, really doesn't have a weakness. He can shoot it with the best of them. He can shoot. Yeah, he's a real good shooter. Has the ball handling. He's one of those ball handlers where you think you can press up on him and you're not going to take it from him. I've seen him. I don't want to say ankle breaker, none of that sounds real corny, but yeah, you're not really taking the ball from him. He can create. He can get to the rim. He's not the most athletic, but yeah, like He's very good offensively.
I believe in coaching. So if you come from like good coaching backgrounds, I believe you have success at the collegiate level. I'll give you a kid that we both know. Remember Chris Smith?
Correct.
He started off at Manhattan.
Correct.
I think he ran Rookie of the Year. I think he was averaging like maybe 11, and then he transferred to Louisville, ended up winning the national championship. So he could be that missing piece for Oregon that can get them over the hump. They're always right there. You never know what can happen.
I think I'm biased in my grading of Aaron because of Shaheen should have been got a head coaching job. People wanted him to get that Seton Hall job.
Yeah.
He get the St. Peter's job, and he wins Coach of the Year in his first year. The kid he recruits wins Rookie of the Year, and now that kid leaves. So I kind of wanted him to stay. Definitely. To see Shaw, keep building that program, keep having success.
Yeah.
But salute to the kid, man, to go from St. Peter's to Oregon in 1 year. Yeah, that's a good jump. So
my question for you: do you think he has pro level talent?
NBA pro? I don't think he's an NBA pro player. 'Cause I don't think he's athletic enough. Okay. But I think he can go overseas and have a good 8 to 10 year career. He's a good player, man. And
I was just asking that just because I know Shaheem he's building a program there, and that guy Aaron could be a stepping stool or a token piece for him.
Well, you look at it like this, like, what if he'd have stayed there and became the Ja Morant at St. Peter's? Because when Ja Morant came to the league, came to Murray State, nobody thought he was going to the league. Exactly. So what if he stayed at St. Peter's and let's say he had a crazy jump. He averaged 17 as a sophomore, and then his junior year he averaged 24, 25. Now people look like, all right, hold on, wait a minute, who is this kid? So, maybe that's what I wanted to see. Exactly. But he could definitely play. And in the Pac-12, it's good for him.
If he was asking me to ask y'all a question, that's the only reason I'm stopping y'all.
Go ahead. What's the question?
He told me to ask y'all, it's the real Curtis. Ask them what they really think about the whole extra year the NCAA is giving out. Like, what's your true opinion about it?
Repeat the question.
No, so what it's the real Curtis on Instagram asked us was that,
you know what that is, right?
Yeah, I know who exactly that is.
Shout out my boy Curtis Fontra.
Yeah. He asked, how do we feel about the NCAA and if they're going to give out like an extra year for the seniors? I think we touched on that.
Yeah, from my knowledge, they said they wasn't giving seniors an extra year because at this point the season was 85-90% done. The tournaments had just started, so I don't think they're going to give seniors an extra year. I mean, if they do, shout out to my Pirates and Miles Powell will come back. We lit, but I don't think they will. It's unfortunate.
From my understanding, I think they're having some leniency with the transfers as far as like kids that are transferring out of school. So that's one thing that I've heard. Have to do a little bit more research on that, but. I think they're going to give some leniency to the guys that are transferring from school to school because of this period.
Okay. Another transfer, and this is going to be a hot topic. I was just talking about this for like 30 minutes.
Let's get into it.
Newark's own Luther Muhammad transferred from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Hasn't picked a school, put a list of 7 schools out. I have my opinion on what I think his top 3 really is.
We know who's in there.
But I think Arizona State, Seton Hall.
Of course.
Alabama are the 3 schools that he's really deciding between, in my opinion. What do you think of the move? Or what do you think of his – because we can't say the move because we don't know where he's going. But what do you think of his decision to transfer?
This is the one that puzzled me the most. I watch the games. Like anytime he was on, I try to watch. Anytime any Jersey kid's on, I try my best to watch and support them and what they're doing and just to see how they're developing. And he was playing significant minutes. He was a key piece to the team. Offensively, I think he needed more work. Maybe, he wanted to get some more touches, but I don't think he was a focal point offensively. But defensively, he was their best defensive player. I just think that me personally, I'm not leaving a top 25 team to go to somewhere else, especially when I'm already a key piece on a top 25 team. Like, where else am I going to go?
This is where, in my opinion, having the right people around you comes in huge. Because, and I'm a Seton Hall fan, so if Luther comes to Seton Hall, I'm ecstatic, right? Because we need more players. But like you just said, he plays 25 minutes per game on a top 25 team, and he started 56 of 64 games in his college career. So I don't know if it's strife between him and the coach. It may be some if it's underlying issues that obviously everybody's not going to know about.
Yeah.
Then okay. But the reason what I've heard through the grapevine is he wants to be featured more on offense. And can Luther score? Yeah, Luther. I think Luther could be a 12 to 13 point per game scorer.
What did he average this year?
7.
Okay.
7 points per game, right? And if he goes somewhere, if he comes to Seton Hall and Bryce Aiken, because he would have to sit out, I believe. I think he has a shoulder injury or something, so he would have to sit out. So he won't play with Bryce if he comes to Seton Hall. I could see him averaging 12 to 13 that next year, and he's an elite defender. But some people get drafted for being elite defenders. Like you put yourself in a position where you're showcasing your strength. What's wrong with being Tony Allen? What's wrong with being Patrick Beverly? So, he's like when I say elite defender.
But that's the issue. Nobody wants to be those players. Nobody wants to be a Patrick. I mean,
but
I'm okay with that. I like to annoy people. I like to make people upset, get people frustrated. But that's not what everybody wants to do. Think about this. When you go to a trainer, they don't ever work on your defense. They're like, oh, do this 1,000 dribbles, step back, 3-point shot, or skip through the lane, Euro step layup.
But that's why you have to go to the right trainer. And this is where social media, this is where having the right people around you comes into play. People don't want to be Patrick Beverly. They might want to be Kyrie. Cool. Kyrie is one of a kind. Mm-hmm. One of a kind. Patrick Beverly came in as a dog, underdog. You know how hard it is to make the NBA?
Yeah, he had
very hard.
Overseas first and came back.
Came over, and now he's about a 7-8 year veteran. Mm-hmm. He's a millionaire. He's making a living doing what he loves. But
that's part of the issue with a lot of people. They don't want to accept the role. That's what it all comes down to. No one wants to accept the role unless they're the star of the team. So people get in. That's why a lot of people don't stick in the NBA. They come in the NBA and they want to be the man, but they don't understand that the way to stick into the NBA is to find a role and master that role.
But it's also your circle.
Yeah.
If you have people that you trust, that you rock with, and you got to be accepting of it. Like, you have to accept criticism. Mm-hmm. You can't have yes men around you all the time saying, yo, you need to transfer from here to there because you can average 20 there.
Yeah.
You might not be a 20-point per game scorer, but if you can average 12 to 11 points, be an elite defender, like he's one of the top 10 wing defenders in the country.
Facts.
If you can be that, you can build a successful career.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get a little bit more consistent with his scoring.
I'm not even really talking about him like in general, but like I don't want to make it seem like I'm whatever. Yeah. But in general,
I got you.
Top 25 elite defender, 25 minutes a game every year.
He has some games that he put on. He has some pretty good games. But in general, like people they need to focus on what they do best. As far as defenders, I think if you're going to be a defender, you do have to show some consistency scoring the ball. If you can do a little bit of that. I mean, I'm not saying you got to score 20, but if you can put yourself in that 12 to 15-point range and be a good defender, I think that's good. Especially at that level, you probably don't even need 15. You could be at 12 points, and if you're defending the best player, I think that's enough to get you a look.
Yeah, look at we got a question, I believe. But hold on, let me say this last point. Isaac Okoro goes to Auburn. Goes to Auburn. When he first went there, this is freshman year, people were saying he'd be a late first round, early second round draft pick. He probably would stay for 2 years to get into the lottery. 1 year in college, and he's predicted to go top 5. Guess what? He's not a focal point in offense.
Not at all.
He's known as an elite defender.
Yep.
And he played his role, and now he might be top 5 in the draft. Like,
that's crazy.
Stick to what you do best. Work on the rest of your game, but keep doing what you do best. Put yourself in the best position. So, but hopefully he goes to the right situation where he can go, and maybe he might average 16 and still be an elite defender, and then we all wrong. We got egg on our face. You said we got a question?
So Mr. _ Beloved.
Beloved.
Said, can you ask them which newly signed college recruit will have the biggest impact on their team the first year?
All right, we'll do that. We'll do that, and we go to these next 2 transfers, and then we'll answer that question because that kind of goes into one of our next points.
Yep.
Transfer, Deshaun Burke. Went to Bloomfield Tech, graduated from Orange, wound up going prep. went to Robert Morris. He killed there.
Yeah.
Transferred to Nebraska. Big jump. Purdue started. I think he started the entire year. Every game he played. Wound up getting suspended for something. I don't know what he got suspended for. But he's doing a grad transfer year. He's transferring to South Alabama.
He's graduating already?
Well, he went to Robert Morris for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Transferred to Nebraska. Had to sit out. This was his senior year.
I forgot he was at Robert Morris for 2 years. I thought he was there 1. Okay.
So he did 4 years of college, but only played 3 years of ball. So he gets to do the grad transfer year. And what do you think of the move?
Wait, before I go into what I think the move is, if you're a grad transfer, do you have to transfer? Why can't you just stay at the same school?
That I'm not. Well, maybe because you graduated. I'm not 100% sure because you graduated from the school.
I noticed that a lot of these transfers are grad transfers, so I'm wondering if they have to leave that school or not. That's something we got to look into. But
I'm assuming if you graduate, you can't play it anymore. I'm not 100% sure. So, but go ahead.
Deshaun Burke, I don't know. I think it's an opportunity for him to really showcase his talents. I think South Alabama might be a lower level than Nebraska was. I'm not sure who they have as far as someone that's going to be ball dominant and kind of be a player that you play through. So I think that's an opportunity for him to do that. Basically, it's an opportunity for him to be the man. I think he has a lot of talent. I think this is the opportunity for him to showcase what he can do and ultimately get an overseas contract. I don't think he's an NBA talent, but I think he does have enough talent to have a decent career overseas. But this is an opportunity for him to do that. He might be able to make some noise, maybe get this program winning, put them on the map a little bit. So this is an opportunity for him.
Okay. Well, just looking at the roster now, it might turn out to be a good move, good decision for him. South Alabama's in the Sun Belt Conference.
Okay.
They have their 3 leading scorers. One's a forward, the 2 are guards, but the 2 guards are seniors. They'll be done. So he'll come there. He probably if he coming from Nebraska, he started every game in Nebraska. I'm assuming I'm pretty sure he's going to start there.
Definitely.
And he should probably step right in the role. I don't even know if the forward is a senior. I ain't checked. But if he was a senior too, he should step right away and be their go-to player. Definitely. Or if not their go-to player, the second option. So good move for him. If one thing we know about Deshaun Burke, he's going to work hard.
He's a worker.
He's a workhorse. So salute to him. I mean, I don't know. I probably would have tried to maybe go to. I don't know what his options were as far as other schools. And I don't know. He got suspended at the end of the year.
What do you ideally see him at? Like if he could,
if he played in the Big 12, like Nebraska did. They wasn't the best team in the Big 12,
Yeah.
But if he played in the Big 12 and he was able to produce there, I think he could have went to a Big East school. He could have went to an SEC school. I don't know, maybe an ACC, Big 10. I don't know what his options were.
Okay.
But we'll go to the Sun Belt and maybe kill and see if he can get like a good career overseas.
Yeah.
Last transfer, Josh Pierre-Louis, Temple to Santa Barbara. What'd you think?
I don't know much about Santa Barbara, but I figured he would have to get out of Temple. Temple wasn't his top choice. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to go to UNLV. Situation happened with the coach. I believe he got fired. Mm-hmm. And, going to a place where you're not heavily recruited, and it can be a difficult situation. I followed his career this year, him and his brother, because I knew them since they were like babies, literally in diapers. So I followed his career just to see what he was doing. The games that he got significant minutes, 15 plus minutes, he did well. He scored on average maybe like 10 points, 3 to 5 assists. So he did well in those games where he got minutes, but the minutes didn't come consistently. And, so for any player, I know that's pretty frustrating. So I kind of seen this come in a little bit. I figured he wouldn't stay there just because of that reason. And everyone wants to play. You go somewhere, you want to play, especially if you're a big talent. I wouldn't say he's a 5-star recruit, but he's like a 3-star recruit, maybe 3.5. And I think he need to be in a more up-tempo system. So I'm assuming that Santa Barbara is one of those systems. They're on the West Coast, so that's how they usually play out there. So I think it's going to turn out being a great decision for him.
He's probably gonna have the best college experience out of all of them. I stole that from Mark. He's going to UC Santa Barbara. The campus is on the beach.
Yeah. Oh
He
God.
goes from Pennsylvania to
Hey, Josh,
Cali.
I might come out there.
So he's probably gonna have the best college experience out of all of them. Before I talk, give my opinion on it. Shout out to Nate Pierre-Louis. He
Yes.
declared for the draft, put his name out there.
Ratty fan.
He just testing the waters to see what he can do. He does have the option to, pull his name and come back. So, yeah. But let's get back to Josh. I think Temple was a little bit of a hard choice because when you go to a school that your brother goes to and he's playing there now, he's a starter and he's one of the best players on the team, and now you go there, it's kind of like you're under his shadow a little bit. But Josh played about 13 minutes a game, 12 to 13 minutes a game. Surprisingly, he wasn't really the best shooter in high school, but he shot 38% from three. About 43% from the field. I would have kind of liked.
He averaged 13 minutes this year?
He averaged 13 minutes a game, and he played 27 games.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, he might play 22 minutes one game, and then he might play 8 the next.
Yeah.
So, it's up and down. But I would have liked to see him kind of tough it out, and see, because he was a freshman, and they had a decent year. They weren't the best, but
I think they were tournament bound.
I don't think they were. I think they'd had to win a couple of games in their conference. They might have to win their conference.
Yeah.
So
they were right there. I think possibly it could have been a last four out, last one type situation.
But yeah, like I kind of wanted to see him. But then once I saw it was another transfer, I forgot. That's crazy. Khalif Battle from Jersey transferred from Butler to he transferred from Butler to Temple. So once I saw him transfer from Butler to Temple, and I think Nate's going to wind up coming back, I kind of figured Josh was probably going to transfer. So, yeah. But I would have liked to see him stick it out and see if he can, grind out. Because, freshman year, you might not play 20 minutes a game. But if you playing 12 to 13 as a freshman, you only bound to go up if you keep putting that work in. Yeah. But, UC Santa Barbara, Cali, maybe, I don't know if the coach from UNLV wound up getting a job there. I don't know what the situation was that made him choose UC Santa Barbara. Yeah. But I want to see how he does. I want to see, him play, get major minutes. And like you said, that West Coast style of basketball, usually on that West Coast, they play a high-speed game up and down. Let's see how you do. Okay. Now, he said Mr. Beloved had a question as far as which recruit would have the most impact in college basketball this year. I want to give my answer, but I don't know where he's going. He's declaring on the 17th, Jalen Green. I think he's the best player in high school basketball. And I think his last three is Auburn, USC, and I don't know the third one. Or he had options to go overseas and play as well. So if he goes, I think he's going to have the biggest impact. If you've seen him play, he's about 6'4", 6'5", freakish athlete, can shoot the ball. They got him as a combo guard. I think his natural position in the NBA, because he's going to go to the league, unless barring injury, knock on wood. But he's going to be a point guard. I think he's that good. But since we don't know where he's going, I'm gonna be biased. So I'm gonna be biased.
Don't take my answer.
No, I'm gonna be biased, and we got the same answer.
Yeah, we're gonna have the same answer.
Everybody know I'm a Seton Hall fan, but just like when Briscoe went to Kentucky, I cheer for Seton Hall and Kentucky. I will be cheering for Seton Hall and Rutgers. Cliff, if you watched our podcast. Shout out Big Cliff.
Big Cliff.
If you watched our podcast, he came. He cut his list from like 13 to 8 on our podcast. He committed during the quarantine. And he committed to Rutgers University.
Are you?
So I think that's a big get for them. He's the biggest recruit that Rutgers has signed since Rosario from St. Anthony's. That's about 12 years ago. Yeah. Top 50 recruit. If you watch Rutgers basketball over the last 3 years, they've been ascending under Steve Peichel. They went from They stunk. Let's just keep it a buck. They used to stink. Basically. They were a top 25 team this year. And pretty much they have almost everybody returning. They got Geo Baker returning. Okay. Ron Harper Jr. is returning. Miles Johnson is returning. Paulie is returning. So they've returned. It's a kid on. I can't think of this kid. He ran like 42. Some athletic ass guard. He come off the bed. Jacob Young or something. He's bouncy. Okay. He's returning, and then you bring a top 50 recruit in Cliff top 40 because some people have him 37.
Yeah.
Elite defender, and he's playing with a guard who can get him easy shots.
Oh my God.
And Miles Johnson about 6'10". They could throw out a lineup where you got 2 6'10s, one freakishly athletic, one's a little bit of a bruiser, and you could put Ron Harper at the 3, and he about 6'6". Yeah. I think he's gonna make a big difference for Rutgers, and I'm gonna go with the bias answer.
See, I don't really have a big landscape of the high school talent right now, as far as outside of New Jersey. So I was gonna go with Cliff. You know, I think Cliff just makes a huge difference for Rutgers. You know, Rutgers don't really get those level players. So my answer was going to be based on what the kid does for the school, and I think Cliff uplifts the school to a perimeter top 25 team, and him going there and they getting that spotlight is going to build a program because other recruits are going to want to go there. I've seen a lot of these recent Jersey players have Rutgers still in their top list of schools that they want to go to. You know, normally Rutgers is an afterthought, but now it's starting to be one of those schools that people are like, hey, I think I want to go there. You know, they're supposed to be rebuilding the gym. So I think I'm going to go with Cliff. That's who I'm going with.
No, you know what? I don't want to steal your answer.
Yeah.
So
pick somebody else.
I love Reeve Cooper. I love Reeve Cooper at Auburn.
Ooh.
I love him there, but I want to see who goes with him. I want to see who he plays with, and and how that's going to go because Isaac is leaving. I don't know what else they're going to have. I think the other guard is a senior, so I want to see who plays with him. I'm gonna go Jeremy Roach. Jeremy Roach is from I want to say Virginia or Maryland. He played for Paul. He got to be Virginia because he played for Paul Six.
Okay.
Think he's going to Duke. Smooth. He's a natural point guard. So I think that's a real good fit for him, and he can score the ball. I'd like Trey Jones as a defender. He can defend, but he can score. He a dog. He plays for Team Takeover, AAU. Yeah, and I think that he'll be a name that for people to look out for. Okay. Another question or no? We good?
Okay, we good. They was talking about the segment when y'all was talking about it.
Okay.
They just commented.
All right, cool.
They had 1 or 2 questions.
All right. We want to get to our guests, so before we get right to our guests, what we're going to do is just run down the awards for the high school basketball. It ended and there's no TOC winner this year. But third team, Quadri Adams, St. Thomas Aquinas. He's a Wake Forest commit, averaged 18 points per game. Mark Armstrong, sophomore, St. Peter's Prep, averaged about 21 points per game. Zion Bethea, senior, he's a Hofstra commit. Go to Immaculate Conception, average 18 points per game. Will Richardson, a sophomore, he's at Bergen Catholic, 19 points per game. And then Jalil White, Wildwood Catholic, average about 17 points per game. You go do second team.
Second team, we got Jonathan Kaminga from the Patrick School. He averaged 16 points, 5 rebounds. Then we have Cliff, Big Cliff, Roselle Catholic. He averaged 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Then we got Trey Patterson, Rutgers Prep. He put up some big numbers, 19 points a game, 6 rebounds per game. Then we got Ben Roy, not to be confused with Brandon Roy. He went Manasquan. Manasquan, there you go. He averaged 18 points per game. Okay, I see. Oh, they had a really good season this year too.
Yeah, they only lost one game. They lost to Roselle Catholic.
Yeah, that was a really good team. Okay, I remember who that kid is. Yes. And then coming in to finish out the second team,
the Legacy.
DJ Wagner from Camden. He averaged 18.5. So that was our second team. I like the second team.
Yeah, everybody was saying the second team will beat the first team.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, so this is like a. I think Kaminga made second team because he only played about 15 games. Remember, he had to sit out for a while, and I think the people didn't want to have 2 players from each team on the first team. So let's go to the first team so you can see.
Nobody else in the Patrick School is on the first team.
No, but I'm talking about Cliff and DJ.
Okay.
Mike Bresler from Watchung Hills averaged 19.4 points per game. I didn't get a chance to see him play, so I'm going to look out for him. Jordan Price, undersized big, but he can get right to it. He can shoot, take you off the dribble, and he can post up, average 19 points per game, 7 rebounds for Elizabeth. Taj Thwett, Trenton Catholic, averaged 18 points per game. He's a mid-major D1 kid. I forget what he committed to, but he's definitely a D1 kid. Lance Ware, Kentucky commit, going to Camden. Well, went to Camden. 12 points per game, 12 points per game, 8 rebounds per game. And then, in my opinion, the best shooter, definitely the best shooter in the state, top 3 shooter in the country, C.J. Wilcher, Roselle Catholic, Xavier commit, averaged 19 points a game, 5 rebounds per game. I think that the second team would probably beat the first team, just bigger. When you can go 6'10", 6'8", 6'8", from your center position to your 3. Yeah. And then DJ Wagner averaged 19 points per game as a freshman. Ben Roy's really good. I think he's underrated because people don't know who Manasquan is. Yeah. But they only lost to Roselle Catholic, and they lost by like 2.
Yeah, so, that was a good
game. Gatorade Player of the Year, Clifford Amori. Again, what we said, 14 points a game, 11 rebounds per game, 5 blocks. Mm-hmm. To win the Gatorade Player of the Year, you have to be good academically, a standout player, and you also have to be show sense of community service and just a good person. So he won Gatorade Player of the Year. Salute to him. And Lance Ware won the NJ.com Player of the Year for Camden. Okay. That was kind of controversial. I didn't agree with it at first, but then I looked back and I saw like Nazi averaged 14 and 7, one Player of the Year, and I'm like, oh, they got comparable stats. So salute to Lance Ware, and let's go. Let's call, I guess. Well, I need his number. Just type it in and put his number on the air. FaceTime. Right that mic check. Right here, right? Okay. So we got Patrick Cole, Newark's very own, Central High School graduate, standout player at Central. Y'all won a group 2, right? Group 2 championship. Went to the Robinson School.
Hey.
Was coached by this guy right here.
My guy.
What was it? North Carolina Central, correct?
Yeah.
Went to North Carolina Central, then transferred to Siena.
No. He went to Coppin first.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're going to talk to you because this fall right into what we talk about. So went to Coppin first.
Then he went to Siena. Then went to North Carolina Central.
And y'all made the tournament.
And we made
Central,
the tournament.
And he got Player of the Year his senior year.
Yeah, one Player of the Year senior year. Yep.
I think that was biased. I don't think you should have won it.
Oh!
No, I'm joking with you. I'm joking with you. You know you my guy.
Oh, we can't forget to mention that now he's coaching.
Yeah.
And he's coaching with an NBA star.
Yeah. What's the name of the high school that you coach at?
Charles E. Jordan High School in Durham, North Carolina.
Okay. And who's the head coach there?
Rasheed Wallace, my man.
Hey.
How'd you guys do this year?
The ball don't lie.
We did all right, man. Yeah, that ball don't lie. Hey, we did great, man. The kids bought into what we're trying to turn that program into. Okay. They understand that we want to play on a national level, and that to play on that level comes with work, and that you get some kids that fight against it, that that ain't ready for that kind of work, and they quit and leave. But luckily we had a good group of guys that pretty much was susceptible to learning and accepting change, because change, everybody don't always accept change.
That's a fact.
So they were, I was proud of them because they were accepting of it, and we had a pretty good year, 11 and 13. They were 7 and 17 the year before.
Okay.
We won 4 more games than last year. We finished 7 and 7 in conference, middle of the pack. They were like 1 and 9 last year. Year before we got there. So there's a bunch of improvement.
Baby steps.
Yeah, it's a process.
Yeah, we told them, it is not going to be an overnight thing. This is going to take time, and that this group that we have now is our foundation. It's like building a building. Yeah. You just don't plop a building down. This ain't Legos.
Yeah, layer by layer. Yep.
It's layer by layer, brick by brick.
Yep.
And you guys are the first layer of this great building we're trying to build over at Jordan.
Okay.
So,
well,
it was a pretty good year, man.
you said something, and this is why I felt that you would be a good guest on the show. One, I saw your FaceTime, the first one you had with Mark. Y'all spoke about some good things. But I felt this, though, because when we did this podcast, everybody talks about basketball, NBA, college, because it's so widestream. But to do something for Jersey, especially Essex County, because that's where we're all from, put a podcast. Not many people are talking about these high school kids that go to Central, West Side, or wherever the case may be. And this is a platform where we do often. But you're a Newark kid, so now it gives them somebody to look at. And then I want you to talk about your journey, because I don't think people really realize how hard it is to come out of Newark, where a lot of college coaches don't come to, and then make it to Division I. So when you talk about your journey, will you say, how would you describe your journey? Was it long and hard? Was it something you just
learning process? If I could really sum it up, I sum it up to learning process because the thing that I had to learn when I was younger was the fact that you have to be able to let people do for you. You can't think that you can just do it yourself, or think that because someone says something that you don't like is hate.
Correct.
Which we're into now.
Yep.
But when you're a child and someone says something you don't like, you take that like they're being mean or they don't like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like when I really didn't understand that until my senior season, and that's why I had the season I had. Going throughout my journey, every time I heard something negative, I always took it personal. You know what I mean? Because I think it was something in me that thought I knew so much that, like, when I was being told wrong, like, it's like, no, you're wrong. You know what I mean? And I think that now this generation is just flooded with that. Like, they're just flooded with that, and that's why, I'm back here trying to give back to the youth. But that's my journey. I have to sum it up, the learning process, man. It was a bumpy road, though.
My question for you, Pat.
Bumpy road.
I got a question for you, Pat.
What's up?
So we're looking at your journey. You transferred a lot, all right?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of
high school.
Yeah, even in high school, from St. Anne's to Central. So we went over a couple different players that's transferring now from colleges. If you could have any advice for these guys that are switching schools, what would you tell these kids?
Make sure you leave it for the right reasons. Don't leave because it may be too hard. Don't leave because you ain't getting the shot attempts that you want. I feel like personally people leave because they feel like I could go somewhere and they get the saying be a big fish in a small pond and a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
And I feel like they get that too late. And I feel like when you're trying to tell a kid that coming out of high school, man, I don't want to hear that. I'm D1. I'm Duke. I'm UNC. And you get there and you see that you ain't Duke or UNC.
Yeah.
You make North Carolina Central or Howard. But you want to, go up there.
But look, you said it, you might be North Carolina Central or Howard, but there's nothing wrong with that.
And no, it's not. But I'm saying, like, your work, people don't understand that, like, you can't want to be there if your work ethic and your work doesn't match that. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of guys get up there and they fall susceptible of, I made it. Now they ain't in the gym as much. Now they messing with all the girls on campus because all the girls know their name. Like, there's a bunch of different stuff you fall victim to at that level.
And you know what I compare that to, Pat? The guy in the hood, right? He got enough money to buy a car, so he go out and he buy a BMW. He don't understand the maintenance that go into keeping up with a BMW. But he want to look nice in that BMW. So yeah, I got a Beamer, but now your car in the shop and you can't get it out because you can't afford it.
And like a lot of times, everything goes off of popularity. So I'll take you for example. When you was at the Robinson School, he'll tell you, I thought you were the best player at the Robinson School, even though you was coming off the bench. But when you made your college decisions, like you didn't go from Coppin and try to go to Seton Hall. Because one, like, to me, your biggest flaw was you just weren't that athletic. But you were a 6'7" wing. You could shoot the ball. You could post. You could pass. You could take people off the dribble. I thought you were the best player, but you made good decisions college-wise, right? So now let's get back to transferring. What were your reasons for transferring? 'Cause I want to compare it to right now where everything's going crazy, where people's transferring left and right.
Because I'm gonna go to high school. First of all, I want to put out there that anytime you hear that I transferred, it's because Patrick Cole, wanted to leave. Never been kicked out, never been forced out, never been academically ineligible. Coach never told me you had to leave my program ever. In any school I've ever been at, that's never been the case.
Okay.
I've always left because I wanted to. All right, that's number one. Number two, I left Compton because I wanted to play at a higher level. After having a freshman year that I had, and my dream has always been to play in the NCAA tournament, and I wanted a chance at that. And I knew staying there probably wasn't going to give me the best shot at that.
Okay.
Like I tell people all the time, I could have stayed at Compton for 4 years, man. Been the loyal guy. Been the all-time leading scorer in Compton history. Been the all-time leading assist guy. But I didn't care about none of that. I wanted to win. And that was the bottom line of it. You know, I wanted to win, and I wanted to get a chance to go to the dance. You know what I mean? Because when I was growing up, that's all I used to watch is college basketball. And it looked fun.
And you saw your big cousin.
I saw
Jeff. Yeah.
So it was like, it's like,
Shout out to Jeff.
My dream. I have to get there. And I knew that Compton wasn't going to give me the best chance to do that. Could I have stayed? Did Fang tell me out his mouth he wanted me to come back my sophomore year? Yes. But I sat there in that end of the year meeting and told him I want to transfer.
Okay.
Bottom line.
So what happened from Siena? From you? So you transferred to Siena?
Yeah. Siena, great school. If I feel like if me personally, to be honest with you guys, if I felt like there was a different coach there, I probably would have stayed at Siena. Because school-wise, I was great. People loved me on campus. Father Ed loved me. Like, everybody up there loved me. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was getting in trouble being a knucklehead and now I had to leave. I actually, this was my mom and me decision this time to go down to Central with Coach Moen, because it was a situation that happened between Coach and my mom.
Okay.
That ultimately decided for me to, I needed to leave. So it was like that's the other reason why I left Siena. Didn't leave Siena for no other reason than the simple fact that I wanted to play and I really couldn't play there. It was a bunch of they had the whole team coming back. And he was trying to tell me every time I met with him that I wasn't going to be put into a key role until my senior season. But I'm like, why would that be the case if I'm in practice killing these guys every practice? Makes no sense to me. Like, I'm in practice, like, killing your starters. I'm taking the last unit, and we're dominating the starters. So I don't understand why I can't get, like, I'm not gaining any minutes here. It's missing me. You know what I mean? So it was just a bunch of disconnect stuff there. But then I ended up at Central. And like I always tell people, Moten, my decision to go there was, Moten just always was real. You know what I mean? Like, real dude. Probably one of the realest guys I've came across. He teaches you life lessons, and his X's and O game is through the roof. He just was talking a bunch of life stuff with me, man. He just was like, you'll always be able to count on me, and I'll help you do anything, this, that, and the third. Like, a lot of the stuff, to be honest, wasn't even a basketball decision. It was just the fact that he was talking to me like I was his family member. You know what I mean? And that's why I decided to end up go down there. Because you know what? I'm like, I could trust somebody like that.
Y'all wound up making a tournament, and I believe y'all was in a close game. Who did y'all? I forget who y'all played. I was watching the entire game.
Davis.
And I think y'all wound up losing like 6 or something like that. 3. See,
We were Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, it was a real close game, and didn't it go into overtime? I believe.
I missed the 3, and then we got the rebound kick out to our point guard wide open, missed the 3.
Yeah, see, so like I knew it was a close game, and so that ends your career, right? Yep. I want to ask you something. I want you to give some advice to the inner city youth, right? Because go back to your AAU, you played for Zoo Crew, correct? And then you went to Azad?
I started playing, when I was younger, I was playing with Zoo Crew. I actually played with North now.
Yeah.
My 7th, 8th grade year.
I'm talking about high school, man. I ain't.
Yeah, high school.
Say like younger, I played with them, but then no, in high school I was always sports U.
Oh, so you played sports U. Okay.
Yeah.
So what made your decision to play for sport? Because like, let's forget high school because it's transferring to high school, it's transferring to college. But I coach AAU. You know, I coach for the players now. I coach for the firm before we was on the Adidas circuit. I coach for the Rams. So I've been coaching for a long time. AAU is like dating. You know, you go to one club, you bag one chick. You go to another club, you bag another chick. So I'll be at a tournament. I see a team play with Team A. Next tournament, he playing with Team B. And then he asking me, yo, what's up? Y'all need somebody? So when it comes to picking the right AAU team and staying, what advice would you give to these kids?
I would just say that you gotta figure out what that AAU program can do for you. I think a lot of people get outside of trying to do the best for them. I feel like they just do the jumping around because that program you might not give out the new Kyries, you might give out the Reeboks, but that program over there giving out the Kyries. So let me go. It don't matter if I'm coming off the bench or not. I like the Kyries. Let me just go there because they giving out tight fit jerseys and the new Kyries, and they might got a little fake sponsorship with Nike. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like a lot of people don't jump for right reasons. Well, is that program? Am I gonna play? First of all, that's number one, foremost for any kind of transferring or switching. Am I gonna play? That's number one. Number two is what's that program doing for me at the next level? Are they sending my film out to colleges? Do they have any type of connections? What college coaches do that guy know? Where did he play at? Does he is he a good dude? Does he help me academically? Different things like that. So it's like that's number two. Number three, the last one is obviously you want to go somewhere where you're gonna win. Like who are you playing with? Because you could go be playing with a bunch of bums, about 40 every AAU tournament, and it's like
it's not fun. Yeah, like
that ain't fun. Like who wants to keep losing every tournament? So I think those are the three major things when you're thinking about transferring, period, or even just switching anything you do pertaining to basketball.
I got two major questions I want to ask you, but I want to see if you got anything before I ask them.
I want to know, as far as high school, because we've been talking about the high school kids, you're coaching high school now. What's the difference in coaches and where you're at? You're in North Carolina? What's the difference in North Carolina basketball culture and New Jersey's basketball culture?
Good question. A lot of these kids are more athletes than New Jersey. So I guess it would be from a athletic standpoint.
Okay.
As far as like talent-wise, nah, you're going to get your talent. Like I see that with basketball, there's no this side, that side. Like you get guys from down here that'll come up there, you won't know his name, never heard of him, and think he's from up there by the way he play.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's what kind of showed me to that. Basketball is universal. You gonna get your wiggly dudes down here that look like he played like he from New York. Like you have that down here.
My follow-up question. My follow-up question to that is, do you think that happened over time, or you think it's always been like that? So can you go back to like maybe your time when you was playing AAU, when you traveled? Was those?
I think it changed over time. I'm not gonna lie. Because when I used to travel, the down south kids just was the ones that used to just jump and dunk everything.
Okay.
Like it wasn't like I've never really met a down south kid that like just was getting to it.
Yeah.
It was always the up north guards,
exactly.
East Coast, northeast guards, like. That was with the handling and you know what I mean. So I think it kind of changed over time.
Okay.
I would say that definitely.
I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit
because
when I played AAU, I played Chris Paul.
You talk about one guy.
Javaris Crittenden was crazy. No, Javaris Crittenden from Atlanta. He played for the Atlantic Celtics. He was crazy. Like it was a lot of guards. I just think I just think social media and like AAU tournaments is hard because you might play the kid, you might play somebody once. He might have had a bad game. Know what I mean? But now with social media, you see it often.
Yeah.
Social media allows them to, look at that stuff and try to emulate it. And now that's why I think
it could make a role player look like a superstar.
Yep.
Yeah.
For real.
But now my two questions to you before we let you go. I saw your live. I didn't watch the whole entire thing. I came in late, but when I came in, you and Mark was talking about loyalty when it comes to basketball. So I want to know: do you think that it's the players being disloyal to the teams, or you think it's a lack of loyalty with the coaches, as far as treating the? I've been with you since fourth grade, but now somebody just transferred from Philly, and now you throw me to the wayside, or you've been with me since fifth grade. I helped you. I picked you up all the time. I brought you to every tournament, but now he throwing you a Nike bag and you leave me. Where do you see the loyalty? Is it the coaches or is it the players, or is there no loyalty at all?
I was about to say, I just personally think there's no loyalty at all, and I don't think you can use that word pertaining to basketball, because the example I gave is like, I could train a kid up until he's a sophomore in high school, and I've been his trainer forever, but he, goes to another trainer. I can't be like, I don't want to mess with this kid no more. That's his decision. He must feel like he's getting better work over there, or he want to come back and work out with me. It's fun. Just come get some work in. You know what I mean? I'm not like gonna hold a kid hostage like that, or tell him like, oh, you disloyal. I think there's no loyalty in sports, period. Like, you can't be loyal, because as a coach, think about it. You have to do what's best for the program first.
Exactly.
Before you could do what's best for any kind of kid. Because once you do what's best for the program, now that trickles down, you doing what's best for the kids. So that's from a coach's standpoint. Now, from a player standpoint, it's always stay loyal to yourself. And when I say that, I mean stay loyal to your principles, making sure you are the best player that you can possibly be. Not worried about that kid bring that kid from Philly. I'm a bust his ass. He ain't gonna play better than me. So that's where the loyalty lies. The loyalty doesn't lie in the direct relationship. It really lies within.
See, my thing is this: when it comes to that, the loyalty aspect, I think the adult in the situation should always try his best to put the kid in the best situation. So even if the kid is better off, like say for instance, I'm a lower level AAU team, and I know we're not traveling the country, but I know the New Jersey players are going to travel the country, and this kid could get seen, and it could help the kid out. Yeah, I'm not going to get credited for this kid getting a scholarship, but that it doesn't matter. The kid is going to get a scholarship because he's going to be seen. I need to be promoting him to this program so he can go. And the same thing for the kid. Like, the kid got to understand, like, he needs to find someone that's going to be there to kind of almost be like a buffer in between, so that person helps them make the right decisions. Like, nah, don't leave and go to that program, because they not gonna, even though you might travel, that coach don't know any college coaches, so you're not going to get any looks. So it makes no point of you going with him. You might as well stay here and get work with me and get better. Now let me go out and look for a team that can help you.
Exactly. Nah, that's exactly it.
The reason I asked you that is because I just want to put this out there. Like, in every aspect of life, everything is business. Basketball is a business. Football is a business. When you're in a relationship, believe it or not, that's a business. Because when you get married, guess what it is? It's a contract. You feel me? It's basically a contract.
Big
so
business. Everything
is business, and there's no loyalty in business. So I wanted to see you get your opinion on that. Last question before, I know you quarantine. You might be quarantined with Bay. I don't know what you're doing, right? Last question. I want to get your views on, from being a player and how you acted towards your coaches to now being a coach and seeing, damn, maybe I was crazy, or maybe my views have changed. Like, what made you get into coaching, and how do you view it from being a player?
What's crazy is I had this conversation with OG because after a practice one day, I could have swore it was like, yo, was I this bad? And I had to call OG and ask him. And OG was like, you know what, Wack? To be honest, nah. He was like, you weren't like this. This is different. He's like, this generation is just different. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, yeah, you had your little flip out, you had your moments, but it wasn't like this because you love ball. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to deal with some of the stuff that I'm dealing with these kids now. And it's the same thing here. Like, I think, Rel, you asked me this question already before, like on Facebook. I think you had said something to me about it. But yeah, like, it's like you, like, I don't know. I feel like as a player, it was more of man. It's a tough question because when you at me coaching, it's like I don't fault them for the stuff they do because I was a player once, and I know when my coach might have said go left, and the dude might be cutting left off, and he's still like go left, and I'm like, wait, but I could go right, and I go right, and something like bad happen. Then it's like, then I tell you to go left. Like, I understand that now as a player. I mean, as a coach now, I understand that. Like sometimes you might tell a kid to do something, but they're on the court and they see it different, and it has allowed me to not get mad at them for doing the different. You know what I mean? Because I know when I was a player, like I did that out there, and I can like recall some situations when that happened. So
no,
it's like,
we know. We know.
I definitely know.
It's like as a coach, it's like I can't be mad at that because I understand why, you know, he's doing what he's doing. But for the most part, you know, they listen. But, you know, you get some that, you know, like I just said, try to do the different. But it's like, it's tough to sit there and, you know, say that you know, I don't know. It's just a catch-22 with it. I feel like it's just a catch-22 with it. Because when you was like, if you look at when you was a player, I know as a coach, some of them kids do stuff and you just be like, yo, did I used to do this? When I was like, you sit there and think about it. Like, I like this? Like I couldn't have been this. You know, it's bad. So it's like, I mean, it's a catch-22 with it with me. But the one thing I did want to say was that I feel like I love coaching more than I did playing, though. And I can say that. Like, I can go on record saying that. You know what I mean? Like, coaching just gives me a different kind of feel when you tell a kid to do something or you draw something up or you done put so much work into that kid and you see the growth and you see the benefits of that work. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just a touching feeling that you can't even describe. Really.
Definitely, like, for example, I had a kid named Kyle. And Kyle Beff, he jumped out the gym, and everybody know him when they see him because he jumped over Brandon Ingram in Vegas. Like, he's a freak athlete, but he didn't have the skill set. You know what I mean? He was playing power forward in AAU for like his 8th grade team, and he was only 5'10", 5'11", and going into his senior year, Radford started recruiting him. So his mom called me. She didn't know nothing about basketball. She told me they offered him a scholarship. If you ask everybody, that's basically my son. Like, I've trained him, feed him. He get in trouble. His mom called me. So when she told me they offered him a scholarship, I cried. I'm like, damn, like they ain't offer him. They had interest. I didn't know that, whatever the case may be. But to take somebody who probably went to play college basketball because he had no skill set and you transform a kid's life is definitely but we running short on time, man. I want to say thanks for letting us call you.
Yeah.
Always, man.
Be safe. Make sure you're washing your hands. Stay inside.
That was since I was 6.
Yeah. I just got to reiterate it, man. People acting crazy out here, man.
And you know, we've known you since St. Rocco's. I was like 6, 7 years old. Just want to say proud of you from your basketball career to now just even being a coach. Getting into a lot of people don't even want to step on the scene. Want to say proud of you. Like he said, stay safe. And don't make no quarantine babies.
We love you, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all, man.
Love you too, bro. Shout out to Pat. Ain't really too much left to say. I wanted to go over the Wooden teams, but we say that for the next episode because we running short on time. We gonna start doing it weekly again. I'm sorry for missing the month, but you know we got to stay safe and had to make sure everything was straight with that.
Listen, man, I know y'all want the podcast. I get it. Y'all blowing my DMs up. All my players, all my people on my Ball with Heart page. I love y'all. We love y'all. We trying to get y'all this content as often as we can. Just bear with us with the pandemic that's going on, but we're back to getting to consistent again. We love y'all, man.
All right, stay safe and tune into the Clipboard from now on out. All right.